let's talk about Batwoman. So Batwoman, the Arrowverse show, had a major shakeup when star Ruby Rose announced that she was leaving after season 1. Basically, she just kind of moved on. We haven't still heard like the full breakdown on this, but you know, all signs point to her just the wear and tear of doing a TV show like that, but you know, literally and figuratively in her case, with the nearly life-altering injury she suffered, to just the demanding schedule, to just, you know, the fandom, the backlash, all the negativity, some of that. She just moved on, and so they were going to recast the character of Kate Kane, Batwoman, for season 2. And there were some pretty good kind of nominations. The what's her name from Krypton was a great thing that we were all kind of looking at. But now there was kind of a fly in the ointment that's a strange twist to this story, where it seems that now the CW is taking a different approach to all this. And instead of recasting Kate Kane, they're basically maybe going to be looking at creating a new character to kind of take over the Batwoman mantle in season 2. And it's kind of it's from a casting call that popped up on Reddit. So it's not like 100% official, but it seems to be leaning this way. And it's a new character that's, what's her name? Ryan Wilder. And the casting call is basically, she's likable, messy. She's goofy and untamed. She's nothing like Kate Kane. And with no one to keep, she spent years on the wrong side of the law, doing drug running, dodging, you know, Gotham City cops, and, you know, kind of making her way in the underworld that way. And she's a dangerous, you know, she's also LGBTQ plus, she's athletic, raw, passionate, fallible, you know, all this stuff. So she's kind of, basically, it's kind of like the Jason Todd of Batwoman, right? Like, this is what this sounds like. This is just like...
Yeah, I love the sound of this. And I love that they're doing that. I think it's great that, you know, instead of trying to replace someone that fans fell in love with, they're just hopefully going to create another person for fans to latch onto and really care about.
So you are in favor of this? Which is
I am. I like that because I never like it. Even if the character isn't the greatest, whenever you just like outright replace someone, it's an awkward transition. I think it's just hard to process. And I really love the idea of a new character. And by the sound of this one, she sounds really almost even like nerdy, but like kind of, I don't know, edgy at the same time. It just sounds really cool. I want to know more about this character for sure.
Matt, as a kind of DC Comics expert on the show, and particularly a Batwoman fan, how do you feel about this?
Well, I'm not as positive as Janelle.
Surprise!
I'm not as positive. But I love that. And I feel like you are going to get both camps here. For me personally, I feel like the only reason you do something like this is because you think at some point Ruby would come back, whether that's a permanent thing or as a cameo deal. So you want to leave that opportunity open, because that would be a big ratings draw at some point. If she did want to come back as the character, you write her out and then leave it open. I mean, for me, this show is about Batwoman, and Batwoman is Kate Kane. So for me, it's like kind of hard to, we're just going to put another, like, that's not what I'm watching this show for. It's different if it was like 4 seasons in. I would get it. I would be like, look, you can't, this character has been established completely. There's a whole arc. Don't muddy the waters and just bring in somebody else and give a different vibe. But it's 1 season, and we know why, or as far as like she's leaving of her own volition. It wasn't like she was forced out. It wasn't because of some contract drama. She's leaving. So for me, 1 season in, it's far easier to just be like, put someone else in the role, let them run with it, and go from there. If it was, 4 or 5 seasons in, I would get the kind of awkwardness of maybe not being able to just fully be on board. But for me, this is not what I'm going to a Batwoman series for. I'm going to see Batwoman, and Kate Kane is not really that character. She's not that go-lucky, whatever. There's like a bunch of other characters. And I'm totally cool, by the way, of them bringing in this character into the series and making like her a part of it. And even if you want to pass the baton at some point, okay. But like, again, just as a coming from where we are with the current scenario, I don't love this. Just
Really good point.
You're overcomplicating it. Just put the put the person in, let them run with it, and don't make it so complicated.
Yeah, I mean, as our own Russ Burlingame, who he and his kind of team are DC TV experts here at comicbook.com, and they always have great breakdowns on all this. And he was kind of saying that this sounds like they're just mashing up Cassandra Cain's edginess and Stephanie Brown kind of like for more of the goofier side and lighthearted stuff. And like, I don't know. My only concern is I don't mind the idea, because I have to kind of stay consistent in my belief that comic books are about constant reinvention and kind of building new stuff. That is what they are, and new creative visions. So I have to kind of stay consistent with that. But the only thing I kind of got tripped up by was this just sounds like the description of like a TV focus group character casting. Yeah. Like where everybody's just like, she's goofy, but she's edgy. She's this, she's that, she's this. Oh, and she's LGBTQ, guys.
Oh my God, you need to do the introduction.
And it's just like, great. It's like everything in there. I mean, there's some like, a girl who, there's a line in here about like, she was a drug runner, dodging the GCPD, masking her pain with bad habits. A girl who would steal milk for an alley cat could also kill you with her bare hands. Like, what?
That line was a little weird. Like, that was it. Now, are we on Catwoman now? I don't know.
Yeah, for real. That's a very Catwoman line. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, it's kind of crazy. It's like drug dealer hookers with a heart of gold, like, and a comic book collection. Like, I don't know. So it just sounds like a weird character composite. And it just sounds like basically what they're doing is a focus group was like, what does Batwoman need? And they were like, well, what if we make it more like humorous, like Supergirl, like goofy, fun for people, and and that's what they're doing. So they're just doing Batwoman with more humor.
Thought Supergirl when we first started, like likable, messy, a little goofy, untamed, until they said drug dealer. I was like, oh, it's Supergirl.
Well, that's the Gotham City part. They're like, that's the Gotham City part. Is in Gotham, you're all those things, but you're also slinging heroin or whatever.
And that's not any hate, by the way, on like Stephanie Brown, Cassandra Cain. I'm a giant Stephanie Brown fan. And loved her time as like Batgirl and her spoiler stuff. Like it's great. And those characters by themselves are awesome. I don't necessarily need an amalgamation of all of them and then with a Batwoman label. Like to me, none of that jives. But I'm interested to see what they do.
And I'm just kind of one thing I'm just bummed about is during Crisis, and we're gonna move on. But during Crisis, like the Kate Kane kind of what's her name? Supergirl's alter ego, Kara Danvers. Like that whole relationship and personality mix, like that was like the closest thing we've seen like to a really good Batman Superman kind of bond on these live action shows. Like they were great together, and I was really looking forward to seeing Ruby Rose and Melissa Benoist like kind of like do something together, like a World's Finest, because they really got that dynamic down and they were really fun. Like, and so I'm kind of bummed we're losing that altogether.